Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Before we get on with all of the huge news coming out of last night's Impact Rebellion pay-per-view, one of the most devastating wrestling moves ever has just been invented. Emotionally devastating. Aww. He then rolled her up to win. Great heel distraction tactic finish. Congratulations to wrestlers Laynie Luck and GPA there for not just getting married, but creating a new variation on the Irish whip. The marriage whip, because GPA's whip now. Am I right, guys? The old ball and chain? I'm in a very loving and committed relationship. My favourite thing to do is snuggles. But Luck and GPA weren't the only two wrestling things united over the weekend, as Kenny Omega beat Rich Swann in the main event of last night's Rebellion pay-per-view to become both the AEW and Impact World Champions, which is actually 3 belts now, as the Impact title is the unified TNA World Heavyweight Championship and Impact World title. This is an addition to the Mega Championship he also holds for AAA. That's a lot of gold. Former WWE and NXT commentator Mauro Ranallo was specially brought in for the main event only to give it a big fight feel. And the match, interestingly, had 2 officials, Brian Hebner representing Impact and Aubrey Edwards for AEW. Don Callis and the Good Brothers were in Kenny's corner, while AEW President Tony Khan, commentator Tony Schiavone, and backstage producer Jerry Lynn, who has his own history with TNA, were watching on from the crowd. It made for an odd dynamic, as they're positioned against the Super Elite in AEW, but were cheering for them here in Impact. But with promotion versus promotion feuds, you often have to sacrifice the intra-promotional storylines. And on Impact's side, you had the commentary team, Willie Mack and Eddie Edwards at ringside, and Impact president Scott D'Amore watching on, scared that his top wrestler was about to lose the company title, which really added to the threat significance on the action. They went just over 20 minutes, 15 of which were V-triggers and snapdragons, but Kenny pushed Hebner into a Rich Swann cutter, leading to AEW referee Aubrey jumping in to stop Omega from cheating with a steel chair. Hebner recovered crazily fast for a ref bump in time for a series of knee-padless V-triggers, and a one-winged angel got him the win. Soundtracked with the classic Ranallo call, you can't spell Omega without OMG. While there was a bit of shenanigans with the ref bump, it never gave anyone an advantage. If anything, it distracted Omega more, with Swann then getting his heat back, meaning Impact didn't really protect their champion with a screwy finish, which is admirable in a way because clean, decisive finishes will always mean more. But when it comes to promotion versus promotion feuds, I'm surprised more wasn't done to make Swann look like he could have won it on a different day, as throughout most of the Impact AEW crossover so far, I thought the match made Impact look significantly lower tier than AEW, and I thought the aim of working relationships was to elevate both companies. But maybe that's all a moot point, as now Impact will have Kenny on TV as their champion, which will likely increase viewing figures, and advanced pay-per-view orders were reportedly way ahead of any Impact show in a long time, according to the Wrestling Observer. What do you think about Omega winning the Impact World title? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll have more on the AEW Impact working relationship and which major ex-WWE star could challenge Kenny for the belt shortly. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Ridge, which you can get 10% off now using our link in the video description below. The Ridge have redefined the wallet, creating a minimalist card holder for up to 12 cards, plus room for all your money in a compact design which easily fits in your front pocket, unlike your current wallet, which is probably about as minimalist as a hipster burger. No one can get that in their mouth. Title of my sex tape. Ridge wallets are available in 30 different colors and styles, have RFID blocking technology to protect your cards from digital pickpockets, over 40,000 5-star reviews, and a 45-day trial period with lifetime warranty, meaning this could be the last wallet you ever have to buy. And wallets aren't all they do, as I've just picked up their awesome weatherproof commuter backpack which has so many compartments. So please support WrestleTalk and at least check out the Ridge wallet by using our link ridge.com/WrestleTalk below. And if you like what you see, use the code WrestleTalk for 10% off. Support WrestleTalk, support your wallet with the Ridge. Following Omega winning the Impact World title, New Japan's IWGP Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay commented on an Instagram post, "He knows where I am," setting up that inevitable New Japan vs AEW World Championship clash. But before then, Omega will have to presumably defend his newly won belt against a number of Impact challengers, which could very soon involve Samoa Joe. Ooh, Kenny! On the Rebellion pay-per-view, Impact played a new promo for their biggest show of the year, Slammiversary, which takes place in July. They haven't given an exact date, but I'd put good money on it being just after the 14th, which just so happens to be when all those wrestlers released by WWE 10 days ago will have their 90-day non-compete clauses expire. And the promo lent into that idea heavily as it teased our world changes again, while playing quick flashes of recently fired WWE stars Samoa Joe, Chelsea Green, and Mickie James, along with New Japan's Kazuchika Okada, arguably the other greatest wrestler in the world, who was booked in TNA as a Japanese stereotype gimmick. This is why we can't have nice things. Impact pulled the exact same trick last year following the April 2020 WWE cuts, where they teased Eric Young, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, Kurt Hawkins, Micah Maria Kanellis, EC3, Drake Maverick, and Rusev. Eric Young, Gallows and Anderson, Hawkins and EC3 all eventually ended up going to Impact. Current Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo, who herself was released by WWE last April, has told Busted Open Radio that she wants her real-life best friend Chelsea Green back in the promotion, along with Mickie James, who is a former Knockout champion too. On top of that, she also wants the iconics of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, both as individuals and a tag team. Heel by Nature notes that Royce has trademarked the name Cassie Lee, which will presumably be her new name outside WWE. The big fantasy booking idea, though, is that Kenny will issue an open challenge for his Impact World title at Slammiversary, which will be answered by the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Samoa Joe, who somehow only won it once. Do you want to see Samoa Joe turn up in Impact for this, or do you rather he debut straight onto AEW? Let me know in the comments down below. But before then, Impact can make do with another former WWE star debuting for them, as last night also saw Big Cass arrive in the Impact Zone, not as Kig Bass, but as W. Morrisey. This came after Eric Young tore his ACL ahead of his 8-man tag, so he introduced Morrisey as his replacement in his Violent by Design faction with Joe Dorin, Dina, and Rhino. After being released by WWE in 2018 because of reported behavioral issues and a brief stint on the Indies, Cass had only just returned to wrestling after stepping away in September 2019, following a series of backstage controversies. In an interview with us at WrestleTalk.com, he attributed his comeback to the Alcoholics Anonymous program, and Doc Gallows, who booked him on his Lariato Pro show in February and then reportedly lobbied for AEW to use him. Morrisey helped Violent by Design to win, but all might not be as cozy as it seems between Impact and AEW. Elsewhere on the pay-per-view, Josh Alexander became the new X Division champion. Jordynne Grace and her surprise partner Rachel Ellerin beat Fire and Flavor for the Knockouts tag team titles, while Purrazzo and New Japan's Finjuice retained their Knockout and tag team titles respectively. While it's set to be the most successful Impact show in a long time, largely down to the talent exchange with AEW, that's as far as the working relationship seemingly goes. Rebellion was hardly mentioned at all on AEW's weekly TV show Dynamite. Impact got one advert on last Wednesday's episode, but the Wrestling Observer have revealed that wasn't a favour. Impact had to pay TNT for the commercial, which ran in the ad break of Dynamite not as part of the AEW show itself. Tony Khan recently told Busted Open Radio that his shoot had to pay for his paid ad slots on Impact, so Impact had to do the same for AEW. Again, it's a far more formal relationship than you would have initially thought of from the two companies. Perhaps now Kenny is the Impact champion, both sides will work together more closely. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Meanwhile, in WWE, the company has tried an innovative new approach to wrestling booking. Actually trying to put on a good show that makes sense. Friday's episode of SmackDown opened with a 45-minute long segment that became a tag team match players where Daniel Bryan and Cesaro beat Jey Uso and Seth Rollins. Usually, especially over the last year, WWE spending so long on just a handful of wrestlers implies there's been some sort of outbreak backstage. The show is suddenly short of talent. But according to Ringside News, the 30-minute tag match was in place to allow those talents to have a great match. Try that more often, WWE. Raw's women's division, however, is short on Charlotte Flair, who was kayfabe suspended for attacking a referee just 1 week after making her return. The not Omni Flair. Dave Meltzer had reported this was for Charlotte to undergo some dental work, calling it a complete makeover, presumably in addition to her breast implant surgery from last year, then criticizing WWE for making women in wrestling really subconscious about your looks. If you give him the benefit of the doubt, it's him rather poorly describing how WWE pushes certain body images on their performers, which I don't think anyone is arguing with. But Charlotte and many others understandably took offense to the wording, tweeting, "I thought Dave Meltzer would have learned his lesson last time commenting about women's bodies, but apparently I'm fair game. Face with rolling eyes emoji." So I get to respond, again, to a rumor about my body. Again. You know what? This is when I stop. Dave, go to hell. You have my phone number. It would take you 30 seconds to ask, as opposed to giving straight crap to your listeners. Grow up. For you, of all people, to comment on a woman's looks, do you have any shame, decency, or professionalism left at all? Find a mirror. Look hard, Dave. Her real-life fiancé Andrade then added, "Stop talking shit, Dave Meltzer," including a photo of him grabbing Charlotte's bum. Want to know how WWE Championship belts are made? Click the video on the right for Laurie's fascinating history of wrestling titles, on what are 10 WWE teams you totally forgot were champions. Click the video below that for Adam Blompier's latest list. Check out the Ridge wallet using our links below. I've been Mr. Davis. Jam that jam.